Hey, what's up? What's up, everyone? What up? What up? You're now tuned into another episode of J Spot, episode 19. Um, Thank you for tuning in. For all those who tune in and check your boy out each and every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I salute you. Like I said, we're on episode 19, man. We're coming a long way. J Spot, episode 19. Okay, we coming a long way, man. We trying to knock them doors down. Trying to knock them doors down. Sorry. I'm gonna give people it's 8:34. I'm gonna give people a couple minutes to tune in, check your boy out, see what positive energy I'm bringing, and I'm gonna be talking about. Well, as some of you know that follow the B2B TV network, myself and Bhavani, we got this live show up here. I air every Tuesday, and Bhavani, she's on Saturday nights. I believe 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We just basically bringing that positive energy, talking about topics and situations that's going on in the real world that no one wants to talk about. So myself, like I always say, I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna speak my voice, as well as Bhavani. She gonna speak her voice as well. So, we just here bringing that positive energy. But for tonight episode, episode 19, we talking about it's a touchy topic because, believe it or not, it's been going on for forever, and it's like it's getting talked about, but it's not getting talked about, if that makes sense. But we basically talking about tonight youth suicide and spreading awareness, because it's a lot of youth out there that's misguided. Like, I'm gonna keep it 100. It's a lot of youth out there that's misguided, and a lot of them are into the social media. A lot of them stuck in their cell phones, and as parents, a lot of parents don't really check their kids' cell phones and see what they're doing, see who they're following, see who's following them. Like, all that play a big part in being a parent. Like, you want to know what your kids are doing. You want to know who they're talking to. You want to know who's in their inbox. You want to know what they're sending to someone else in their inbox. Like, so much teens are killing themselves because they're getting cyberbullied. They're getting bullied online. People that they don't even know are hitting them up, telling them like, "Oh, go kill yourself," or "You're corny in school," or "Nobody talks to you," or "You're a cornball." And a lot of kids are battling so much right now. Like, they're battling stuff in their home. So to be dealing with situations that's going on in their home, and then having to come home and go on the computer and people hitting you up and telling you nonsense. It's like, come on, man. I'm dealing with enough at home, and I got to deal with this. So I felt this topic needed to be talked about, and that's where I'm at with it. So we're talking about youth suicide and spreading awareness. Like, we got to spread awareness, man. These are our kids. These are the future. We got to pay attention to these kids. We can't just let them do what they want. More importantly, we have to be their parent more than their friend. And a lot of parents out there, they messing up. Like, they're being their friends instead of their parents. And it's okay to be your son or your daughter's friend, but also draw that line like, okay, look, I'm not your friend right now. I'm your parent. I'm your mother. I'm your father. Like, let's get back to what's important. A lot of parents, like, they want to be their kids' friends more than their parents. But it's two topics that I wanna address and I wanna talk about. They're very recent actually. They're very recent. Some of you guys might have heard about it. I mean, I don't know if people out there that's, follow me. I don't know if you guys follow up with the news, because you have some people, they feel the news is depressing, so they don't want to follow up with the news. They don't care what's going on in the world, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's your opinion. That's how you feel. But to those who do follow the news or whatever the case may be, it was two cases that they were actually heartbreaking when I heard them. Actually, they were actually heartbreaking. The first case I'm gonna talk about is actually the boyfriend and the girlfriend, which is Marquise Brown, and I believe her name is Mercedes. I believe her name, Mercedes. Yeah, they were a couple or whatever. They were a couple. They loved one another. They had strong feelings for each other. I mean, of course, this is what I'm reading up on. So, I don't know them personally, but, the girl, Mercedes, she basically took her own life dealing with people bullying and talking about her. And believe it or not, like talking about kids nowadays, kids could be some real bullies. Like, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Kids nowadays could be some real bullies. In my day growing up, if you joked on someone, you joked on them and it was left alone. It was left right then and there. If it was in math class, if it was in gym, if it was in social studies class, it was left there. Nowadays with these kids, they would joke on you throughout the whole day. The whole day. They would joke on you in math class, English class, science class, social studies class. And it's like, yo, I can't get a break like that. All right, you cracked that joke, whatever. Let's keep it pushing. But kids nowadays, like, they go hard with these jokes. Like, they will talk about your mother, they'll talk about your father, and they don't even know your parents. But they will talk about them anyway. And then if you don't have tough skin, it'll break you. What they're saying might not be true, but to repeatedly hearing it over and over and over, like, it starts to break skin. And then next thing you know, you damn near believe in what they're saying. Because you're in the back of your mind, you're like, yo, why is he saying this about me? Or why is she saying this about me? Like, she don't know my mother. He don't know my mother. He don't know my pops. He don't know my father. But it's crazy. But, it was basically, like the couple, the girlfriend, she killed herself. She committed suicide. And then 2 days later, the boyfriend, Marquise Brown, he took his own life and he put it on Facebook Live. Like, he streamed it. He actually put up a last message before he took his own life. Like, it says, before taking his life, Marquise posted a distressing note on Facebook and went on Facebook Live to tell his friends and family goodbye. This is to everybody that knew me, that shared love for me. Brown wrote, this is to the ones who deeply cared for me. Yeah, some might say I took the easy way out, but who's to say I wanted to live this life who's to say I want to live this life in the first place? Like, he put up a message basically letting everyone know, like, he about to take his life. And all of this stemmed from, his girlfriend taking her life because she was harassed. She was bullied. She didn't have tough skin. Some people have tough skin and some people don't have tough skin. And It broke her down. Like being bullied, she was being harassed. It broke her down. It really broke her down, and then she took the easy way out and took her life. Like a lot of people say it's taking the easy way out. In a sense, it is taking the easy way out because you should fight. You should fight back. But not everyone know how to fight back. Not everyone is built to fight. Some people are built to just give up. Some people are literally built to just throw in the towel and end it all. And that's where we have to, as parents, like pay attention to our kids. We have to pay attention to their habits. We have to pay attention to when they come in from school. We have to pay attention to how they're acting at the dinner table. We have to pay attention to their mood swings, their mood changes. Like, it's so much we have to pay attention to with these kids. Because if we don't pay attention, like, we'll lose them. They'll slip right between our fingers and we'll come home to them hanging themselves in the bathroom or in the room. Comment from Tisha. I also read that she was pregnant for her boyfriend at the time of the suicide. Yeah, that's true, Tisha. You're absolutely right. I'm terribly sorry I missed that. Yeah, I read as well that she was pregnant for the boyfriend. So, for the boyfriend, that was hard for him to take on. Like, if he knew that she was pregnant, I believe he did know. Yeah. Him knowing that she was pregnant and for her taking her life, he felt right there like he had nothing to live for, but he did have something to live for. He just, he didn't have the right people in his corner to pull him away from taking his life. As well as the girl, as well as Mercedes. She didn't have the right people in her corner to keep her away from taking her own life. Suicide can be prevented. Believe it or not, suicide can be prevented. It can be prevented. Some kids, they just, I don't know. Some kids just feel they have nothing to live for. They're being bullied. They're being tormented. They're being harassed, and they just end it all. Yeah. This right here that I'm about to read, this is actually about, this was, I believe, in his words, in the boyfriend's words. Yeah. So it says, I just lost my girlfriend and my kid. She thought everyone was going to bash her like her friends did that baby brought. Oh, I'm sorry. Was going to bash her like her friends did that baby brought us so much joy. She told me she was pregnant on my birthday. I was happy, but I also was lost for words. Mercedes asked countless people for help. That's why I tried to be the best boyfriend ever. Marquise also shared in his note that he had previously talked Mercedes out of ending her life, but if she chose to do so in the future, they discussed going out further. So basically, like, he tried to help her from, committing suicide, and then they also talked about it, like if they would go through a suicide, they would go out together. Now, had they had the right people in their corner talking to them, she would still be here as well as he would still be here. But how it looks is they talked about it amongst themselves. So their parents probably didn't know what was going on in their life. Like, they didn't know probably what was going on in school, what was going on. I believe one of them was into track and field. Had the parents known or older peer knew what was going on, I feel she would still be here. the baby would still be here as well as the boyfriend would still be here. But they took it upon themselves to go out, on their own terms and on their own circumstances. Something else I read. I messed up once and took someone on a date, but that's all I did. I apologized about it, and I did whatever I had to do to make it up to Mercedes. Mercedes also had my passwords, fingerprint on my phone, all that. I was very open with her, but we always told each other how we hated life and everything in it. But I also talked to her about, I also talked her out of it as well. We also talked about, if we would go out, we would go out together. And that's where I'm headed, right behind my baby. It's deep. It's deep to read. It's deep to follow up with this situation. They were young. They were really young. And they were young. They were young. And they should still be here to this day. But they took life into their own hands. I did a little research and came across a lot of studies right now with like suicide statistics and the ratio and so much. Like you guys out there wouldn't believe. Like some stuff even shocked me. Some information I came across that even shocked me. Like it's so much that goes on with these kids that we as parents probably don't even know, but we should know. We should know. For example, this is a suicide statistics that I came across. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the U.S. The 10th leading cause of death in the U.S. Each year, 44,193 Americans die by suicide. You hear that number? Each year, 44,193 Americans die by suicide. Suicide costs the U.S. $51 billion annually. $51 billion annually. Like, do you hear those numbers? The 10th leading cause of death in the U.S. Each year, 44,193 Americans die by suicide. And then suicide costs the U.S. $51 billion annually. Like that is now the next study I came across was like the suicide rates by age. 2015, the highest suicide rate, 19.6, was among adults between the age of 45 and 64 years of age. The second highest rate, 19.4, occurred in those 85 years or older. Younger groups have had consistently lower suicide rates than middle-aged and older adults. In 2015, adolescents and young adults aged 15 to 24 had a suicide rate of 12.5. That is deep. Like, do you hear those numbers right there? Like, these numbers shouldn't be the numbers that they are. Suicide can be prevented. Many suicide attempts, however, go unreported or untreated. Surveys suggest that at least 1 million people in the U.S. each year engage in I'm sorry. Intentionally inflicted self-harm. Surveys suggest at least 1 million people in the US each year engage in intentionally inflicted self-harm. Now we're gonna get to the signs. We're gonna break down all the signs you gotta look for like kids that's into suicide or thinking about suicide. I'm gonna get to that as well. I'm sorry out there, viewers. I'm sorry. It's so much research that I've done. It's ridiculous. Okay, that's another study I came across as well. Females attempt suicide 3 times more often than males. As with suicide deaths, rates of attempted suicide vary considerably. Considerably among demographic groups. While males are 4 times more likely than females to die by suicide, females attempt suicide 3 times as often as males. The ratio of suicide attempts to suicide deaths in youth is estimated to be about 25.1. 25 to 1. Compared to about 4 to 1 in the elderly. Like, a lot of this right here I wouldn't have known if I didn't do the research on it. And it is really deep. It's really deep. I know it was the breakdown I had to talk about. Like the warning signs, like what to look out for. Now these are all of the warning signs for suicide, basically. 4 out of 5 teens who attempt suicide give clear warning signs. 4 out of 5 teens who attempt suicide give clear warning signs. Now, some of the signs talking about suicide: make statements about feeling hopeless, helpless, or worthless. A dependent depression. Like that right there, like depression right there, like that should be a clear indication in itself. Depression. Out of character behavior, like, acting out of character. A loss of interest in things that you once cared about. Giving prized possessions away. Now, if you love something and you had it for a very long time and you cared about it and you give it away, like that right there, you should know. Like, I mean, as a parent, if you know your child or your children and you study them and you see like any of these signs right here, like that's where you have to step in and get help. You have to get help. Now, you might could do it on your own. You might could talk to your kids on your own. It might help. It might not help. But if it does not help, then you have to get out there and ask for help. Now, I also have a number where parents could call as well, to get help. Like, if you can't do it on your own, it is a number you could call and they'll help you. But I'll get to that. I'll get to that later on in the discussion. Now these right here are basically like risk factors dealing with suicide, like, different risk factors to look out for. Now School environment. Youth who are struggling with classes perceive their teachers as not understanding them or caring about them, or have poor relationships with their peers, have increased vulnerably. Family history or stress. A history of mental illness. I'm sorry. A history of mental illness and suicide among immediate family members place youth at greater risk for suicide. These circumstances are changes in family structures as divorce, remarriage, moving to a new city, and financial instability. Now this right here, self-mutilation. Self-mutilation or self-harm behaviors include headbanging, cutting, burning, biting, erasing, digging at wounds that you may have on your body. These behaviors are becoming increasingly common among youth, especially female youth. While self-injury typically signals the occurrence of broader problems, the reason for this behavior can vary from peer group pressure to severe emotional disturbance. Although help should be sought for any individual who is causing self-harm, an appropriate response is crucial. Depression, mental illness, and substance abuse. One of the most telling risk factors for youth is mental illness. Mental illness is addictive disorder or associated with 5% of suicides. 1 in 10 youths suffer from mental illness seriously impaired, yet fewer than 20% receive treatment. In fact, 60% of those who it kind of cut out, so I can't really see that word. In fact, 60% of those who suffer from depression, alcohol, and drug use, which clouds judgment, lowers instability, worsens depression, or associated with 50 to 67% of suicides. Home environment. Within the home, a lack of cohesion, high levels of violence and conflict, a lack of parental support, and alienation from within the family. Okay, I see. I did so much. Like I said, I did so much research. It's so much that I'm missing. Okay, I'm gonna have to get back to that because I can't seem to find it. But yeah, as parents, like we have to know what's going on with our children. That's first and foremost. Like, yeah, we want to be a friend to our kids. We want to be their best friend. We want to be their go-to person. But it's a time and a place for everything. A time and a place. So like we really need to help help the youth. Like, we really need to be on their backs. Like, they might call it annoying. They might say we're nagging them. We're on back. But at the end of the day, we'll keep them on the right track. We'll keep them on the right path. We'll keep them from falling into depression. We'll keep them from wanting to hurt themselves. We'll keep them from wanting to inflict harm on themselves. Like, being a parent is not easy. It is not easy. But at the end of the day, like, you're on their back. You're showing them you love them. You're showing them you love them. You're showing them you care about them. And kids nowadays, like, they need that love. They really need that love. And if they're not getting the love at home, because everything starts at home. If they're not getting that love at home, then they're going to feel like, they're going to feel like they're a burden. They're going to feel like, okay, mommy don't care about me, daddy don't care about me. Then they're going to turn to, as I said a little while ago in some of the studies I was reading, they'll turn to drugs. They'll turn to, being harassed. Not turn to being harassed, but they'll be harassed. They'll be picked on. And kids nowadays don't have tough skin. So if you're hearing your people talk about you and stuff and things of that nature, yeah, it's gonna hurt you. It's gonna break you down, because you're gonna question yourself, like, why is this happening to me? Why am I being tormented? Why am I being harassed? Why am I being bullied? Why am I being cyberbullied? It's so much you're gonna want to know. And then when you feel you can't get the answers on your own, because really and truly, you're not gonna always get the answers on your own. You're gonna turn to, okay, well, maybe I don't need to be here anymore. Let me take my own life. And as parents, like, we need to be on our kids' back. Like, we must be on their. Let them call it whatever they want to call it. Let them call it nagging. Let them call it we're bothering them. But at the end of the day, what's best for them. And at the end of the day, we want to see them alive. We don't want to see them hurting. We don't want to see them harmed. We don't want to see them stressed. We don't want to see them depressed. We want to see them happy. And for some kids, like I said, it starts at home. Some kids, they might be dealing with their parents going through a divorce. They might be dealing with their parents are always arguing with each other. And that right there, like, parents should not argue in front of their kids. Because kids are going to pick up on it. The kids they're going to go in their room. They're going to hear mommy and daddy yelling at each other, screaming at each other, cursing at each other. They're going to hear, oh, I hate you. I wish I never met you. Like, all of this. And that's going to take a toll on them kids. That is going to take a toll on them kids. And they're going to want to know why. Why is this going on? Why is mommy and daddy arguing with each other? Like, am I the reason? Like, is it because I was born? Is it because, like, it's so much they're gonna have questions about. And when they feel they can't get the answers to their questions, then you know what they're gonna do next. It was another oh, I'm terribly sorry. It was another case I want to talk to you guys about as well. It was a 14-year-old girl, actually, in Florida. She basically hung herself, and she said her mother was making comments about her on Facebook, basically taunting her, like, about hanging herself. So what did the 14-year-old girl do? She literally hung herself, and she put it on Facebook Live. The girl name is, the 14-year-old girl, her name is Nakia Venat. She was like in and out of foster homes. She was reportedly passed around to 14 different homes in the span of 16 months. So within 16 months, she was passed around to 14 different homes. So that alone right there, like, she was dealing with that. Because she probably was dealing with why her biological mother didn't want her. She probably was dealing with why her biological father didn't want her, or if she even knew her biological father, or if she even knew her biological mother. So that alone in itself, she was dealing with. And then to be passed around to 14 different homes, like, I could only imagine what that young girl was going through. Seeing different parents, different foster mothers, some foster mothers that probably would care for you, some foster mothers that probably could care less about you because they only want to get the check for you. It's like she dealt with a lot. She dealt with a lot. Her broadcast was watched by hundreds of people, some of whom pleaded with the girl to reconsider her decision, but others urged her to take her life. Like, you see how cruel people could be in this world? Others urged her to take her life. Like, why? You see someone on Facebook Live telling you she's depressed, telling you she's hurt, and telling you she wants to talk to someone, telling you she needs help, and you're gonna urge her to kill herself? What part of the game is that? They were also calling her name, saying that her broadcast was fake. She's not gonna do it. You're only playing around. Nobody cares. If you're really gonna do it, then do it. Like, how can you say things like that? Now, me personally, if I see any one of my followers who follow me on Facebook, who follow me on Instagram, whatever, if I see any one of them put up a post and they talk about they're gonna kill themselves, or they don't want to do it anymore, they don't want to deal with life anymore, like, I'm gonna take it seriously, whether it's a joke or not. I'm gonna take it seriously, whether it is a joke or not. I'm gonna take it seriously. Because I don't want no one on my Facebook or Instagram or no social media, whether fan or friend or family, talking about they're going to do something. I'm just looking at it like, oh yeah, go ahead, do it. Like, what kind of person would I be to be egging you on to do it? And then when you really do it, I'm going to turn and say to myself like, wow, he or she really did it. Like, I didn't think they were going to do it. I thought they were bullshitting. Like, no, you can't think that they're bullshitting. You cannot. You cannot. You have to take every live, every Instagram live, you have to take it seriously once they're talking about committing suicide or hurting themselves. If you know the person personally like that, call them on their house phone. Talk them out of it. And while you got them on the phone, try to call 911 and have them rush over to their home and get to them before they do bodily harm to themselves. This girl was only 14, and she said she told her foster mother, no one wants to talk to her, no one wants to listen to her. There's so much going on. And the foster mother basically just said, oh, you're crying wolf. That's another thing. The foster mother said she was crying wolf a lot of times. Okay, granted, if she was crying wolf, if she was crying wolf, you take every cry serious. You take every cry seriously. On January 22nd, Nakia had streamed a live. On January 22nd, Nakia had started a live stream on Facebook when she killed herself at her home in Miami, just after 3 a.m. Efforts to say the girl there were a series of accidents after a friend reported the 2-hour live stream to police, provided them with the wrong Miami address. So I guess she gave the wrong address to like her friends, and this went on for 2 hours. Now, of course, had the friends had the right address, maybe it could have been prevented. Maybe she would still be alive to this day. She just took her life early this year, 2017, January 22nd. And the mother, wow. This right here I didn't see, but in 2010, she was placed back in the care of Kaza. That's the foster mother, Kaza. Only to be removed in 2014 but she was later then returned after social workers insisted it was for her best. It was for her best interest. A year later, her mother relinquished custody, saying that she no longer wanted the teenager. Like, how can you no longer wanted the teenager? Wow, a year later, her mother relinquished custody, saying that she no longer wanted the teenager. This teenager alone was dealing with so much. So much she was dealing with. And it is really crazy that, like, we as parents, like, can hear our children crying out for help, and we just throw it to the back, like, okay, whatever. It is so much that these kids are battling on a daily basis, and some parents know, some parents don't know. Some parents try to know, some parents try not to know. It is heartbreaking that so many teens out there are taking their lives because all they want is attention. All they want is to talk to someone. All they want is someone is in their corner. That is all. Like, that's all these kids want. Like, they just want to know someone is in their corner. Someone has their back. They can talk to someone when they come home from school and they had a rough day in science class, or they had a rough day in biology class, or they had a mean professor who didn't want to hear what they had to say in class. Like, it's so much a lot of these teens deal with, and we take it for granted. We really take it for granted. Now, okay, what is going on here? Man, these kids are our future. These kids are our future. And as parents, we have to be on their backs. We have to pay attention to them. If you have to take their cell phones to see who they're texting, so be it. If you have to take their cell phones to get into their Facebook to see what they're talking about, what they're posting on Facebook, so be it. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna know you did everything possible to keep your kid alive, to keep your kid away from being bullied. You gonna know you did your best. And I know I had said it earlier, and I actually came across the number. But it's the National Suicide Prevention Hotline number. Like, you could take this number, you could call it. Like, I believe they will help you, talk to you. If you're dealing with, depression, like suicidal thoughts, like, you could just call this number and they'll help you. So that's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline number. And the number is 1-800-273-TALK. Once again, that's 1-800-273-TALK. 8255. And then they have then they have a text line. Like if you want to text them, it's a crisis text line. By texting the word talk to 741-741. So that's the crisis text line. By texting the word talk to 741-741. And you know, these are helpful numbers right here, as well as helpful text number. If anyone you know that's dealing with any of the signs that I've talked about, you know, earlier tonight, pass that number on and help talk to them. If you can't talk to them on your own, pass that number on. Give them that number. Let them get help. It's already bad. We living in a cold world as is, and we don't need to be losing our kids. Especially to bullies, cyber bullies, to harassing them. Like we don't need that. We need these kids to grow up, be successful, go to college, be whatever they set out to be in this world. We don't need to be burying our children. Our children should be burying us, but we don't need to be burying our children. That's not how it was designed. But yeah, these were basically the two topics I wanted to, you know, talk about tonight. The little bit of information that I came across through Google. Like I said, like I'm just here to bring positivity. I'm here to help in any ways possible, any aspects of my episodes of J Spot. Like I'm just here to try to help. And that's why I always tell everyone that tunes in, if you could just click the share button. Because if these episodes don't help you personally, you never know, it might be someone on your Facebook that it can help. That is also true, Tisha. That is also true. That also plays a part too. And it's so crazy that you brought that forward, because I had researched that and for some reason just can't find the paper. But yeah, they battle with like their grades. If they get in bad grades, they feel they're gonna do poorly in that class. They feel they're gonna fail. They're going to get held back. All of that plays a part. That's why, as parents, like, we have to be on our kids. Like, if your kids are failing in school, get them a tutor. If you have some tutors out there, they're reasonable. Then you have some tutors out there that they're expensive. But whatever your pockets or your budget can handle, it's your children. Get it for them. Get it for them. Because you don't want them dealing with depression like they were once getting hundreds and now they're getting 65s and 70s. Because then they're gonna feel like they're failing themselves. And then they're gonna start getting depressed, because then other classmates are gonna be pulling in those hundreds or those 95s, and they're looking at them like, oh, I remember I used to once get those grades. So if parents out there, if your kids are falling behind with their grades, or, you know, their grades took a drastic downward, like, you can get them tutors, you can get them help, you can help them as well if you want, or if you want to, go about it the professional route, you can get them a tutor. Believe it or not, like the things you think wouldn't affect these children affect them. like as little as grades. You have some parents they're heavy on their kids' grades, and you have some parents it's like whatever. Like you have some parents that don't even check their kids' homework. You have some parents they don't even follow their school at school. You have some parents that are active in their kids' school. They're talking to the teachers constantly. They're talking to the principals constantly. They want to know their kids are doing what they have to do in class, doing what they're supposed to do in class. And I salute them parents that are on their kids' back like that. That are on their back, that are on their school back. I salute them parents. I salute you. I salute you. I salute you. I salute you. It's crazy because before I became a father, I know I probably wouldn't be researching the stuff that I'm researching, Googling the stuff that I'm Googling. Well, basically thing, but becoming a father, like it just gave me a whole new outlook on life. Because a lot of the things I'm doing, I didn't have I didn't have a father doing them for me. Yes, granted, I had my mother doing it, but it wasn't the same as if it was a father figure. So this is why I go so hard for my son. This is why I'm constantly on my son about his homework. I'm constantly on him about how his day in school went. I'm constantly on my kid to the point I know he feels like I'm on his back, but as when he get older, he'll understand like, yo, my father was just doing what he was supposed to do, making sure I was on top of my grades. Like for example, for today, tomorrow, and Thursday, my kid has these state test exams. Like when I spoke to him today, he told me the math test he took today. He was like, "Oh, my son loves math. He loves math. He loves math. He loves math." To the point, like I really don't know where he got it from because me and math didn't get along, and his mother, her and math didn't get along as well. So it's like, where did this boy get the love for numbers from? Because he sure didn't get it from my side. But you know, I wish them well for today, tomorrow, and Thursday. I wish him, you know, nothing but the best. He study. He take his time on his exam. And he just give it all. He just give it his all. Because I want to see him do better. I want to see him do great. I want to see him be anything he set forth to be. If he wants to be an astronaut, I want to see him be that astronaut. If he wants to be a football player, I want to see him be that football player. Whatever it is my son wants to do, I want to see him achieve it and accomplish it. And I told him on numerous occasions, like it's going to take hard work. It's going to take dedication and determination. And he's up for it, and I believe he's up for it because I don't want nothing less of him. Like I want to see him push and push and push and do what he has to do to become what he wants to become. He deserves it. He deserves it. I think I touched. It was more that I wanted to speak on, but I'm terribly sorry. I must have misplaced the paper or something, but I believe I talked about the main factors for tonight. Yeah, yeah, I believe I talked about the main factors for tonight. Yeah, so yeah, tonight was basically about youth suicide and spreading awareness. Like, I gave the number, for you to call if you know someone who's dealing with depression or suicidal thoughts. I gave the text message, like, you text talk to 741-741. I talked about the boyfriend and girlfriend who were carrying a baby, but they took their life. I talked about a 10-year-old girl who took her life because, no one listened to her, no one wanted to hear her out. It's sad and it's heartbreaking. And I just pray and pray and pray these kids find the guidance that they deserve and that they need in their lives, and we don't have any more teen suicides. But it's us. We have to, play our part as well. We have to be on our kids' back. We have to do our part. Well, everyone, I reached my hour mark. I want to thank those who tuned in tonight. Thank Tisha for, your comments. I appreciate it. I appreciate you as well for tuning in. Yeah. We're on episode 19. Next week, we'll be back for episode 20. 20 episodes. Like, we going. We doing them numbers. But I want to thank everyone who tuned in. I want to thank those who shared the episode. I want to thank those who will tune in at a later time to check this episode out. I just appreciate you guys. Like I always do before I end my show, I gotta drop my email. If there's anything you want me to talk about, anything you want me to, put on the table, just shoot me an email and I'll get it up here. And my email address is as follows. It is actorjrichards@gmail.com. Once again, that is actorjrichards@gmail.com. Also, my YouTube channel is up and running. You guys can follow me on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it because I'll be putting a lot of information up there. I'll be talking about a lot of things. A lot of things that won't make it up here on J-Spot will be on my YouTube channel. So if you can, just follow me on YouTube. You can just type in Jay Richards and my YouTube channel should pop up. Maybe you might have to search a little bit, but I'm up there. Just follow me. Subscribe to my channel, Jay Richards. And just follow me. You'll see where I'm at with my topics. You'll see where I'm at. You'll see where my head is at. You'll see I'm positive energy. I'm on a totally different type of timing nowadays because it's God's plan. This is God's plan. Like so much I see with the youth and the misguided youth, it was only fair that I felt I had to help out in some way possible. And what a better way to help out than these episodes. So, all the episodes, if you missed it, like it's on my YouTube channel. Like I said, just subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jay Richards. Follow me, check me out, see what I'm doing, see what I'm up to. And, support. I appreciate those who support me, and I support others as well. And whatever they do, Whatever they're doing, I support as well. If you need me to support you in something, you want me to post something up, I'm on Facebook as well, Jay Richards. Hit me up on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Real Jay Richards. Instagram, I'm on Twitter, Real Jay Richards. I support those, man. I support those. But that is enough for me for tonight. I will catch you guys next Tuesday for episode 20 of J Spot. Episode 20. That's 20 episodes right there. But I'll catch you guys next week. And thank you for tuning in tonight. And I appreciate it. And thank you.